Hello, folks. I greet you. Welcome. It's a Friday. Welcome to another program in the series, Journalist Hangout. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Now, today on the program, NJC, that's the National Judicial Council, recommends Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun for the job of Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, 28 others as judges. Federal government tells Chinese firm its presidential jets are sovereign assets, therefore immune from seizure, just as Peter Obi describes it as a national disgrace. And later on the show, we'll share this with you. Senate denies claims by its member that senators receive 21 million naira monthly pay. Says running costs are different from salaries. Okay, I'm hanging out with Dr. Olabisi Deji Folutile. Sister Bisi, I greet you.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. She's joined by the indomitable Emeka Madonago. Emeka, I greet you too.
Yeah, good day, citizen. Hello, viewers.
Okay, so the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, let's go. You know, the current Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, will bow out of the office on the 22nd of August after attaining the mandatory age of 70. Following this, therefore, the National Judicial Council, NJC, has recommended Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun to President Bola Tinubu for appointment as his replacement. We must mention that the Supreme Court currently has the full complement of 21 justices, and the next most senior justice would step in, as is the practice. The NJC has also recommended the elevation of 27 candidates for appointment as judges of state courts and a candidate for appointment as Qadi of the Sharia Court of Appeal, FCT. You see, it's a turn-by-turn thing.
Yeah, and good news that this time around is the turn of a woman.
Okay.
Yeah, and because she's going to be the second woman.
Yeah.
To be the,
in a long history.
In a long history. So congratulations, with the hope that the president will.
She's happy. I'm happy for her.
Hopefully, and
the age of women.
I have no reason to doubt the fact that the president is going to approve the recommendation of the NJC.
Yeah.
And that is going to be good news for the women folk. And beyond that also, I think Justice Kekere-Ekun is 66 years old now.
Okay.
And she has at least 4 years to the time that she will reach the age of 70, which is the mandatory age for retirement. Yeah, so at least she will have about 4 years
to do her job.
To do her job. And hopefully we expect that those 4 years are going to be remarkable years, and that there are going to be a lot of changes, developments in that sector.
We see, you know, with the emergence of Madam Kekere-Ekun, I remember the words of the late Baroness Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady. She said, if you want anything said, ask a man. But if you want anything done, ask a woman.
Yeah.
So we are there.
We are there, honestly. I very, very much so.
Okay. All right. Emeka, but mine is that the Supreme Court has the full complement of 21 justices, means cases won't drag anymore.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope there won't also be political interference in cases. Yeah, to warrant the quick dispensation of justice. Because if we remember years ago, you know how politicians will push a matter from the Federal High Court to the Appeal Court to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will go take it back. Then there will be the story of attempts to arrest a judgment, to arrest the process, and it will go on from, left, right, just be swinging like a pendulum. But what we had in recent past was also, another worrisome aspect of the slow dispensation of justice, ambiguous nature of rulings and judgments, that people who had to, now start analyzing judgment. What did this judgment actually say? And the situation where judges, of coordinate jurisdiction, we are issuing, been issuing conflicting orders. It doesn't speak well of the bench. With due respect, it doesn't speak well. It just makes it look like, it's a cacophonous, conglomeration. And I think if my Lordship Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun should be confirmed, I think she needs to spend some time on the review, on reforms, deep, far-reaching reforms in the judiciary. A lot of things are not right with the bench and the bar. A lot of things, I must tell you.
Okay.
At the federal level, at the state level, a lot of things are not right. Corruption is still a problem. It's still a challenge.
So, Emeka, when you remember, it is said that the court is the
last hope of the common man. But these days, it looks like the court is the last hope of the richest bidder, of the highest bidder. And it gives room for, it gives cause for concern. A lot of Nigerians, you go out there, if you go out on the streets and do a street survey, ask Nigerians, or you ask people to, send in articles about their experiences with the court, you are going to see people who will narrate bitter experiences with the courts. And to the extent that you have many Nigerians who are in jail, awaiting trial, unnecessarily, for no reason, just because, certain people had the ability to twist their cases, to delay their trials, and some have been in custody
also add
for long.
Death row inmates whose continued stay depends on the prerogative of the
yes.
I'm reminded, BC, I'm sure you know this, no president can sign a death warrant, only a governor can.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So the Supreme Court, like a Daniel, will come to judgment. So
we hope so. We hope also, I hope also that the CJN will, initiate a conference with, chief judges of the states, attorneys general and all of that, the NBA, the Nigeria police, and other agencies that have prosecutorial powers to look into this issue, this troubling issue of awaiting trial men. It needs to be dealt with. And then there should be a timeline for the quick dispensation of cases so that litigants don't suffer. They just keep paying money in transport, paying money, they keep filing one thing or the other. And then the issue of interlocutory injunctions is another problem. It's another problem whereby, people just look for ways, to circumvent the due process of, and a former chief justice of Nigeria, I think it was Justice Idris Kutigi, if my memory serves me right, was someone who tried to deal with that menace. But thereafter, we've seen how people have just been doing what they like.
BC, we cannot at this point forget fine justices of the Supreme Court. Kayode Esho, Justice Anyagolu, Chukwudifu Oputa, Waifo, Udo Odoma, and name them. So the Mr. Justice Ariwoola is doing a good job.
Well, actually, listening to Emeka, I want to say that there is a limit to what our lordship can even do. I remember something I read online, I don't know how true it is, that for you to become a SAN, you must have
a senior advocate.
Yeah, a senior advocate of Nigeria. You must have certain cases at the Supreme Court. So, and because of that, I learned that many of these our legal minds just try to make sure that they have cases piled to the Supreme Court so that they can be considered for the position of senior advocates of Nigeria. So things like that, there is little or nothing that Madam Justice can do about such things. And these are the things that lead to delayed cases, that makes the cases at the Supreme Court to be so many that at the end of the day you cannot tackle them all. You now begin to look at cases of cases that are just going on and on, the most important ones, they are not educated upon because the court is enmeshed with cases that shouldn't have been there in the first instance. So I think when we talk about judicial process review and all of that, it has to be.
That's why I said yes, a conference,
because we cannot just look at the Supreme Court alone. We need to look at all the courts
across board.
Yeah, the entire legacy for us to actually have the kind of development that we want in the system.
Although I know, well, I congratulate her in advance if she's confirmed, but Justice Mary Peter Odili would have actually been the second female CJN, if not for certain circumstances, that made her not to make the court. So well,
I think she retired.
Yeah, the whole thing was I think it just better left in the archives.
Yeah, but again, the Supreme Court, the apex court, I'm told as soon as the apex court makes its pronouncement, you can only go to the court of. So the Supreme Court is on top of its game. So let's expect that the new CJN would come in. Let's hope the table is not urgent, too urgent.
And and again, the issues still left over from the time of the penultimate Chief Justice of Nigeria, the one before Justice Ariwoola, where some justices of the Supreme Court wrote a petition. So I don't know how far those issues have been addressed. Those issues are still there.
Writing in law.
They are still there. Yes, they need to be dealt with so that their lordships, the justices of the Supreme Court, will work in an environment that help them to dispense justice for all, and then also to litigants and lawyers. Litigants who want to push matters to the last. Like somebody said, a lawyer can tell you, yes, let's go to court, but a lawyer will not tell you that you will win, that you are going to win. So sometimes I think
the lawyer will always tell the client, we have a good case.
We have a good case, yes. And then when the case is lost, how come when the case is lost, a political case, they'll say it's a victory for democracy.
Somebody must win now.
Exactly.
Or something must win.
Yeah.
Okay. To prospective CJN, Madam Kekere-Ekun, I wish you well. And as they say, wish you Godspeed. And so may it be.
Amen.
All right, then, let's go to our next story. Getting local refineries to buy local crude and in local currency appears to have been a thorny issue for some time now. That appears to be a thing of the past, if you ask me, as the federal government